I am recording this after the fact, which I don't usually do, but I realized when I started putting videos together that I did not record anything about these few days in real time, probably because I was really busy. After I did my hike into Pearisburg, which went really well, I went back to Woods Hole with the intention of just spending the night and hiking out the next day. But Neville pulled me aside, and she was really having a rough week. She was very short-staffed, and she said, you know, can you stay for a few days and do some work for stay for me? And I thought, I really don't need to do work for stay, and I really don't need time off because I was just home with family. But the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what? I had a really rough week too with the fall, and just, you know, as you saw from the other videos, it was a tough transition back to the trail for me. And I thought maybe, just maybe, I need to log some trail karma points. And I like to help out hostel owners who are really doing good things. I think Woods Hole is definitely one of my top 3 hostels that I've stayed at. And so I just thought, after giving it some, you know, deep contemplation, that staying for a few days and helping her out was the right thing to do. So I told her, I said, you know what, I will give you 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm hiking out on Saturday. And she's like, that's great, that's great. And she's very generous with her work for stay staff. So she covered my stay and my meals and everything, and put me to work hand watering the garden because there were some issues with the watering system, and helping with meals and cleaning rooms and all that kind of stuff. So I worked very hard for a few days, and then I got ready to head out on Saturday. And during the time that I was doing work for stay, my friend Mudbug had showed up, and her boyfriend was there, and they were having a little bit of time together, and she was planning on hiking out on Sunday. So I said goodbye to her, and her boyfriend drove me to the trailhead in Pearisburg, and I was getting out of the car, and he says, and so what about your poles? And I realized that for the first time since starting the AT, I had left my poles, and they were back at Woods Hole. So we got in the car to go back, and I really started thinking, you know, maybe there's a reason that happened too. And so when we got back, I went to see Mudbug, told her what happened, and said, hey, why don't we hike out tomorrow on Sunday together and hike together for a few days, because we were both experiencing some of that kind of loneliness that comes in at the point that we are in the trail, where everybody is ahead of us, and we're kind of the tail end of the northbound hiker bubble. Maybe we're behind the bubble. I think we're behind the bubble. Anyway, so it's funny how those things worked out, and you'll see in the next video that we hiked together for a few days and had a great time. But these 3 days were days that I spent at Woods Hole, and I was working really hard, didn't do a lot of video, but it was definitely worth it. I was glad to have the work for stay experience. It was really cool to learn about what it takes to create a wonderful hostel experience for guests, and I had a lot of fun with Rocky, who's doing work for stay, in Neville as well. And of course the animals were a delight. She's got lots of cats, and I miss my cats, so that was fun. Sadly though, the ducks were victim of a fox. He got 2 while I was there. But I enjoyed the goats and the potbelly pigs. There were 2 of them. They're pretty cool. Beautiful views down the valley, and of course time with goats. So it was all good. I'm glad I did it.